Instagram, right?
Yeah, you can share Instagram stories.
I see where it just shares the link, but I don't see where it says um to to share with. Hold on. Mm-mm. See share play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has
Mm.
me sharing with a specific person. It doesn't have me sharing with my followers.
Does it have like a link or?
It does have a link, but it just has where I have to send it to, like, share it with a specific someone on Instagram. It doesn't.
Okay, we've got three people on now.
Okay, but is it like with?
Okay.
Okay, I just want
Okay,
to make sure.
did you share it to your Instagram with the link or?
I'm like, so if I posted it to
Let me
my
see.
story, then they'll be able to click on that, correct?
Yes, they can click on it from there.
Okay, well,
Let me. Okay. Were you able to share? I think it's frozen now. Hey guys, if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. I don't know what's happening now. It's gone frozen. Um,
now I don't know if.
okay, you're back.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, you know what? Let me do this. Let me copy the link and send it to you as a message. Let's see.
okay.
Let me send it to you. Um,
Because I just added it to my story, but I'm gonna push leave.
hey guys, I know there's one person here. I don't know. We're trying to like share the link. Um, sorry for the delay. Okay, she's back. Sorry for the delay. Okay, let's just kick off. Have you been able to share it now?
I shared it on my story, so I guess if someone
Okay,
clicks on
that's good.
there,
Yeah.
then they should be able to watch it at some point.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
okay.
Okay. Welcome, guys. Just have two people here, but hopefully more people will join us as we get on.
Okay.
So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me on this. I am so excited to be chatting with you, to be doing this with you.
Absolutely.
I am a huge fan of your work. But before I say anything else, can you please introduce yourself to
so,
our friends watching us?
so I'm Mav. By Mav is the name of my business. I'm here in the Houston area, Houston, Texas, and yeah, my I like to say that Mav is my stage name. My professional name, or just my government name, is Naisha. So some people know me as Naisha, while most of the people on Instagram and how I like to present myself is Mav. Mav is just short for the word maverick, and it's just someone who is a trendsetter, someone who kind of stands out on their own and kind of make a name for themselves, and that's essentially where the name kind of derived from, fitting my personality pretty well. So yeah.
Yes, it does. It's your personality because your work is amazing. Like,
Thank
I've
you.
followed you from like I think during COVID.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
remember I remember following you at that time. Yeah, because you,
yeah.
like you mentioned, you've been doing this for some time. So I remember at that time when I was still learning, you were one of the first people I did follow. And I didn't realize you were so far away.
Far away in London.
Yes.
Okay. So What's your background? Why balloons? What made you? How did you stumble on balloons?
So my
How?
so my background, just to kind of give you, like, I kind of ballooning kind of fell in my lap a little bit. I am a
Mhm.
professional sign language interpreter by day. That's like my main goal. Like, I went to college for sign language. That's what I do in my everyday to day life. Is strictly sign language. So when ballooning came along, I was trying to really just get into events. Doing full out events. And I remember at that time learning how people were making balloons become super like trendy. I've never saw balloons displayed in a way at events like they were then at the time that I was, learning. And so I remember still wanting to stick with the events. I even had a mentor at that time where I was going out with her on projects and helping her do installations. And it was, again, we were setting up full events. And I remember like thinking how much work it took to, do these productions. Like, people really don't understand the amount of time and
Mhm, mhm,
dedication
mhm,
that
mhm,
it takes to put into something like that, right? Um, and so I started, um, seeing the way balloons were just how they were making the event. It was like the pop of the event. Like, yeah, you have your nice tablescapes and your drapes and all that stuff was really cool, right? But to be able to take a balloon and to style it in a way to make it look good for for photo ops, like, I was really intrigued by that. And so then I wanted to learn more. And so I found myself like practicing, getting on YouTube, watching videos, kind of practicing doing my own thing. um and I did it literally like every day. I found myself doing this every day. And of course, when COVID hit, it was something to do all the time. It's just like, what are we going to do? We're kind of just like sitting ducks out here, right? So again, I found myself doing it every day, practice and practice. And then that's when I was ready to take a class, because I found myself kind of being a little stuck where I was,
mhm,
being a creative and all. A new up and coming creative. And so I decided, after about, I want to say about a year, I was like, I could probably benefit from, taking a class. So that's when I ended up taking We Balloons class. She's up in the Canada area. And
mhm.
I took a virtual class, kind of learned some tips and tricks from her, um, and kind of just made it my own after that and kind of like ran with it. And then I started teaching classes on my own. And, people started like liking my work, and people started, saving my work. And it just became that whole thing. And so it was like, I then became an inspiration to people the way that I was first inspired by all these other people who have been doing it, for some time now, like yourself. So yeah, so ballooning more so came from me just wanting to do birthday parties for my child, and then ultimately, whenever I found that I enjoyed doing this, I was like, I like doing this. I think that I got something here. Let me see how I can make this benefit for me financially, and it kind of happened from there. So yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so you've been doing this for how long now? How many years
So
now?
so next year, next February, it'll be 5 years that I've been doing this. I cannot believe it's been
Amazing.
that long, but it'll be
Just that
five
long.
years. Time is really passing
R-
by.
Running like it's on steroids. It's crazy.
Yes, it's like I still feel like a novice out here sometimes, where I'm like, I see a lot of people, a lot of creative people out there really doing a lot of huge installs and a lot of detailed things. And I'm just like, wow. And, it kind of, it questions me whether or not I'm capable of doing such a thing. And I know that I am, right? But it's just like when you don't have those opportunities coming to you every day, it kind of questions, whether you're ready to do something like, or if you can do something like that. But yeah, 5 years, it'll be next year, next February. I'm super excited about it. What I'm most proud of is the fact that I've kept going in the midst of all of it, right? I think that's the takeaway from here, is to keep going,
Mm-hmm.
because entrepreneurship is definitely not for the weak, not for the faint
Mm-hmm.
of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you've been doing this 10 plus years now. So, if how strenuous it can be on your mind, on your body. I don't know if you
To
have
sleep
a
at
family.
night.
Yeah, you're constantly going of, thinking of ways to be creative and ultimately to make a living for yourself. This is our
Mm-hmm.
livelihood, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I get it. It's a lot. But so yeah, 5 years.
Okay, so there's one particular bit that I am so, most excited to talk about, and a lot of people do not know this. Guys, if you know the twists when you get a 5-inch balloon and you twist it into, tiny little clusters,
Uh-huh.
I would personally say you started it.
Uh-huh.
Before I saw it anywhere else, you were
Mm-hmm.
like the coin on it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come about that? How people don't
So
know that. They don't even know you started
right,
it.
right.
They
So
just
like
start saying it, and because fine, someone else would have used it in on other ways, but I think you started using it in garlands. That
right,
was what we knew you for. Apart
right.
from the fact that you have a great way of using colors,
Mm-hmm.
the 5 inches clusters is just like it's different, and anytime you use it in a garland, it just looks totally amazing. How did you come about that? How did you start doing that? What gave you
So
the
the
idea, like,
idea
okay,
to
let's start
use
using
them
this
in
in
there.
garlands?
So, like I said, I saw like the mini clusters being used in other ways. Like I said, like
Mm-hmm.
on columns, whenever
Mm-hmm.
you make the ice cream column, I've seen them used in that way. And I
Mm-hmm.
was at that time, I was, and I'm still very in the mindset like where I want to be able to add. I'm looking for different ways to add in different elements and add in dimension and how to go about doing that. Yeah, you can pop in some foils, you can pop in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different things, right, to get this grand
Mm-hmm.
design. But really,
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to do was how can we make this with the balloons that I already have? And so I
Mm-hmm.
started twisting them, putting them together, and it kind of just like became a habit of mine. And I found myself wanting to do this all the time. It definitely took some time, some practice trying to get, put all this together. But over time, like I said, I practiced constantly day and night, trying to really perfect these minis. And then once I started incorporating them into my work, I found a lot of other people were like, wow, they started noticing them. For me, it was just like, okay, this is something I'm just kind of trying out. I'm not sure if it's going to go anywhere. But, again, as an artist, you want to be able to find what works for you. Your
Mm-hmm.
style, and it became a style of mine. And I found myself, how can I be creative in a way in each install that I went to? I want it to look different. I don't always want things to look the same. And that
Right.
was the mindset that I took and I hold on to with each and every job that I landed. And so ultimately it became a thing where I did all the time. And then, I showed to people learned it. Once I started doing my classes, I also would teach my students that as well. And so I apologize for the dog barking. Give me one second. Come here, princess. And so yeah, it just became a habit of mine, a style, a design that I kind of, came up with, and then I kind of shared with all the people on Instagram, and then I found that they enjoyed that, and then they started incorporating to their work, and it just kind of became this whole thing. And then I kind of backed off a little bit. I stopped using them so much because it became oversaturated. Again, you get
Mm-hmm. Oh,
bored
yeah.
with a design, and again, I find different ways to make something. And so now I found myself kind of getting back into it because you see a lot of different designs out there now and the way people are really
Now,
using
yeah.
balloons, right? And while
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really, I'm careful with not trying to like hop on that bandwagon. I'm like, okay, how can I make something still mine and still own it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do. And it's just a matter of staying true to yourself, staying true to your work of art, and not being caught up in what you see around you, because a lot of people are kind of doing the same things. And while that's okay, that's just not the type of work that that I'm choosing to do for me in the direction I'm choosing to go in.
You just said the perfect thing now. Like, yeah, everybody's doing it. And personally, for me, I even struggle with actually doing what other people are. Whenever I try to do what someone else has, like copy what they've done, it ends up being a disaster. Like,
Disaster.
it ends up being
Trust me.
crap. Yeah, so I try to like stay true to what I've always done.
Hmm.
And it might seem like, oh, people are doing this now, and why are you not doing that? But it's because I'm still trying to like find something new that is me,
Right.
and not what I've like gotten up for what someone else has done. So yeah, I get what you mean by
Right.
sticking to what you actually like more or less created, or owning your thing.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
Um,
And
so my
so,
next question, were you going to say something?
yeah, I was just going to say, kind of piggyback off of that is,
Mm-hmm.
because I had someone ask me, okay, what if you get a client who wants a style that they see specifically like this? Are you
Mm-hmm.
able to do it? Well, I'm sure I'm able to, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, sure. If it's something that,
Yeah, definitely.
I believe that I can pull off, then yeah. But I also truly believe too that if that's a specific design that you're looking for, then that means that that's a specific artist that you are looking to hire to do the work,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you're
Mm-hmm.
looking
Mm-hmm.
for. And ultimately, that's what happens too. I think that's super important is really finding those artists out there to mimic the work that you are wanting or the services that you're looking for someone to provide to you. And yeah, so that's what we're still going to say.
Yeah, it makes sense, because some of us do not believe in going off what someone else has done.
Hmm.
And obviously, we all get that picture from a client saying, okay, I want you to do that. But for me, a lot of times, what I tend to do when it happens like that is I try and let them know I'm not able to, it's not like I can't do it, but I'm not going to be doing what someone else has done.
Right.
And then aside from that, I believe each design, each time tends to like look different the next time you want to try it.
Right. It does. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to look the same at all. I can't tell you how many times, even the designs that I've done, when people, will contact me and they say, I would like what you did here. And it's like, okay, great. I can do that mostly, right? But you just can't expect for it to look identical. It's just not,
Even
it's
for
just not.
half of the time, I because I'm not, I don't have the habit of writing stuff down every
Hmm.
time. So there are
Right.
times I don't even remember the colors I've mixed together.
Hmm. Oh,
Does
really?
that happen to you? Like,
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
no.
the colors I've stuffed in to
Right.
get that color I'm using, and then you know,
Really? Yeah.
I think to myself, I need to start writing stuff down. But
It'll probably be most helpful to write it down. I personally memorize a lot of it just because I joke all the time and I say I have spent so much time with these balloons. Like I can look at a balloon and know what
what
brand
color?
it is, what
Mm-hmm.
color, yes, what
Mm-hmm.
brand it is. Like I can be like, okay, that is a Qualitex navy over a Tuftex navy,
Mm-hmm.
just by looking at it.
Pizza.
Because they all have different textures to it. The
Mm-hmm.
way it
Mm-hmm.
feels, trust me, or that's a
Mm-hmm.
zipper text, or this is a generic one, or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
typically
Mm-hmm.
can because I spent so much time with them. It's crazy, but yeah, when it comes to the colors, I usually can remember a lot of colors that I do put together, especially if I use them quite often.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
I would encourage you to do that, and anybody really out there, just try to write those things down
I
because
think
sometimes you
what
can't
my
remember.
problem is, the thing is, because just like you said now, you're able to like know what brand. I just by looking at your picture, most of the time I'm able to tell what color
Hmm.
the balloon is. But there are times when I create myself like double stuff colors and it just comes out in one color. I might not just remember what I put together to get that particular color.
Right.
But when I see the picture of maybe from someone else, I'm
Hmm.
able to like say, okay, I think this is the colors in this. Because I get people who send me messages and be like, oh, what colors are those?
All the time. Hmm.
And I'm able to help. So, but it's just writing it down. Oh God. But maybe I'll try and start writing it down when I put them together.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, so how are you finding the business now? What is exciting you at the moment? Why are you still, loving doing balloons?
So I honestly have, that's a really good question about what is exciting, balloon related,
Mm,
that is. I think what's more so exciting for me at the moment is still being uh, just a creative, knowing
mm,
that I have the ability to create a thing using
Mm,
balloons. That's probably the most exciting right now. Like I mentioned to you before, I kind of have been a little quiet, like on my page, and not have been, putting a lot of work out there. It's been a
mm,
little slow, and I would say a little slow for me, meaning um, there haven't been a lot of people wanting to, and I'm not saying to celebrate, but a lot of people who have not contacted me to be part, to be part of their celebrations. And the reason by being, I think that they have either one, have found a way to just do it themselves and very interested in doing it themselves, right? Not even just because it's like financially burdensome, but people again are wanting to create a thing and they're finding like, hey, I can totally do this thing and then I
mm,
can also make money too, because it's this thing that they have been seeing often happening about on Instagram. So many people who have been trying their hand at balloons. Some people have taken a back seat to it, and some people are like, I like to go ahead and begin this thing, right? Um, but I would say again, the most exciting part right now is just being able to create. Um, and what has been keeping me there is knowing, just my repeat clients, my followers on Instagram. And right now, I'm kind of in a place where I am revamping the way that I do this business because
mm.
it's going in a direction where it's becoming like redundant. Like you've seen one DIY video, you kind of seen them all. And I say that respectfully. I don't definitely, say that in an ugly way, but it's becoming oversaturated. It's becoming something that you've already seen. So I am now taking a back seat. What freshness, what new ideas can I bring to this
It brings
industry?
in.
And so that's kind of the place that I am in while still holding on to that excitement, knowing that I have, again, the ability to create a thing, but I'm kind of taking a back seat and trying to recalibrate my ideas and try to go a
Mm,
different direction, from there. And
mm.
I imagine there's going to be some things where people like already have already thought of, but you can't have that mentality like, oh, somebody else is doing this, or I've already seen it. Okay, but have they done it the way that I'm choosing to do it? And that's ultimately what I'm looking to do. I'm even looking to change my name. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's a lot of things that honestly that are going to be taking place and happening over in the next year. So it's just a lot of transitioning that's been happening in my private life that I haven't been able to speak about. But in due time, I'll be able to share it with you all. So, yeah.
All right. Amazing. Okay, my next question goes to so we've talked about what what excites you and all of that. So what are the negative side of being a balloon artist? What are the stuff you'll be like, oh
I
God,
I would
I don't think
most
I want to do
definitely.
this anymore.
I know, right? I would say probably maybe, and I'm careful with the way that I express myself here on this platform. But I would probably say, landing clients, having people who don't understand the work that we do.
Mm,
That can be the most frustrating part because again, like they'll see a design that you've done or anybody has done, and they like to put a price on that. They like to put their own value on that. And it's like,
mm-hmm,
well, no, thank you. I'm not 5.99. Like I'm actually 5.99, meaning 600. You know, um, and so that was probably again the most frustrating part is the value of the work as a creative. A lot of times people um, want to come to you and say, okay, this is how much something should cost, or they'll like to name drop and say, so and so is charging me this, but then I'm trying to get a quote from you and you're charging me this. And then they like to question, well, how come you feel you should charge this?
mm,
Hmm. Well, and then I go off on my soapbox on why I feel I should charge this. And then I eventually lose out on that client probably because I'm so long winded, but that's okay.
mm-hmm,
I believe that if someone is for me, they're gonna be for me. And I don't have to fight with them. There won't be
mm-hmm,
any tension. Everything will flow smoothly. Um, and so the frustrating part is being able to land and keep clients and be able to teach them the value of the work that I do, and trust that I know what I'm doing, because a lot of times they don't. I'm sure you probably have clients where they come to you and they're like, this is a thing that I want, right? And you guys go, y'all spend countless hours and time going back and forth of what it is that they want, making sure that it's going to be perfect for them, correct? And then they constantly still have these questions, and that's fine. You want to be able to be clear about what it is that you're
Mhm.
doing, but then
Mhm.
sometimes I'm sure they like not really sure if you can execute what it is that you're saying you can do, and it's like, oh, I
Mhm.
can,
Mhm.
I've been doing this for some time, right? So then that becomes a whole thing. But yeah, no, so I just think that it's the value of being able to do what it is that you say you can really do, and so that
Mm.
kind of forces you on the side where, okay, well, I know that my worth is this much, but then this other business is charging this much. Does that mean that I need to price match? Because I've had someone ask me that too. Could you price
Mm.
match? And I'm like, no, this
Oh, they
isn't. This isn't
they go that far, yeah.
price match. Like, are you really asking me that? It's like absolutely not. And I'm not the type of person like to go to someone and ask for
Mhm.
them to price match something if it's something that I'm asking for, right? I don't know, but you got people who will try it, and I think
Yeah.
that you have to be um firm and stand firm on what it is that you as an artist want to do, because
Mhm.
if not, you find yourself being backed into a corner and just doing work ultimately for free, because I do believe a lot of people are kind of doing that just so that you
Mm.
can make a name for yourself, and then that's where you experience burnout and this
Mhm.
all these other things that happen, so you just can't do it.
Okay, so I know a lot of artists like the struggle with pricing, which is part of the issue we have, and I
Hmm.
think the main problem.
Right.
Um, how are you able to like lock down the pricing issue? How are you able to like
So
figure it out?
So I typically, and what I've done here recently is have gone back out and do my research again. I call it my
Mhm.
professional development, because I don't think that you should ever just really stop learning, no matter what it is that you're doing, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I encourage other people as well as myself to see what your competitors are charging. What is the issue here? There has to be some type of issue on why you might not be able to land and keep clients. What are your business practices? But ultimately, for pricing, I like to just go back out and look at what my competitors are charging and try to be able to like maybe like match what they're doing slightly, um, because ultimately we are in a world where it kind of has to be a little cohesive. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like to stand out, and this is how the service. Sorry, I don't know if I froze because I had a call come through. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you, but we the video is off.
Let me see if I can like exit and come back on. Hold on.
All right then. Okay, guys. She's just going to exit and come back in a tick. Thank you to the people still hanging in there with us. I hope you're learning, and I hope this discussion has been, a great learning curve for you guys. Yeah, thank you. So we'll get on once she is back. We just have a few minutes left before we end the session. I don't like keeping it for too long so that you guys don't get bored, and people that are going to like join, watch it later, they don't get bored and not finish it to the end, because I believe each and every one of these videos are like really important for you to watch from the beginning to the end. So you learn about each person that comes, and you learn a thing or two from their experiences as a balloon artist. Okay, she's back now. Okay, you're back. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, 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 that's fine.
Okay, so where were we? Oh, we're talking about pricing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been looking here recently at what my competitors are charging, and I'm trying to kind of find a middle ground with that, honestly.
Okay.
Because there was a point where I was charging what I felt was okay, and I still very much feel like where I am is still really good, but I can't ignore the fact that you know that there still needs to be some type of space or some room for improvement. And how I go about doing that, I kind of am forced into a spot where I have to kind of see what people are charging around me and kind of try to meet somewhere in the middle, because people will come, to you doing their research and saying, oh, this person is that, or I see that balloons in this area is costing this much. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, you see them, costing this much. Well, this is why I'm choosing to charge X amount of, of money, because this is a service that I typically provide.
Mhm.
And you're free to choose the artist that you want, right? Based on
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
prices, right? But if you come to me, you obviously have vetted my work already. You know what I can bring to the table, and you want to use me to participate in your upcoming event. So, um, yeah, the pricing is a very it's a thing that definitely fluctuates here often, and I have been forced to be able to do that as well. So, I think at some point, though, things are going, those artists that are up and coming or new, the ones that have been doing it, they're going to be experiencing that burnout, are going to eventually see really quickly how
Mhm.
vicious it can be, and eventually just trickle out. I've already seen it, honestly.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's going to make room for us to kind of grow again. But this is kind of the space that we are in right now, honestly.
Mhm. 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 Okay, so my next question is, so what for, just like you mentioned, new people coming in, what advice would you give them? What would you know, tell them?
So I would encourage them to definitely just do their research, especially if they're looking to do it as a business where they're going to be, you know, be maintained and make a livable wage on. If it's something that you're looking to do with that, because you got so many people like leaving their daytime jobs to do this, and wow, that's all good and well. Um, that's not something that I think that people should abruptly do without knowing. The ins and outs of this business, because there's so many different components to being a business owner, right?
Mhm.
Um, so I would say, if you are, take a class, whether it's in business, if it's business related, because there's so many back work that needs to be done when it comes to um, legitimizing your business. It's not just, oh, I want to just put these balloons up and make them, nice and pretty. Yeah, that's one side to it. But the other side is, okay, you have to have a bookkeeper. You have to have, your numbers in order. You have to have your contracts. You have to have so many different things in order to present to these people. Especially if you want to go into doing corporate, landing corporate
Yeah.
clients,
Yeah.
because that is a whole nother ball game, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind
Mhm.
of, an area that I'm in right now that I'm working towards. But I would just encourage them to definitely do their research in this business, um, and just ultimately just get started, and keep at it. Practice as
Mhm.
much as they can, and be passionate about it. It's not enough to say, "Oh, I can do these balloons," because I just don't want to want to pay $500-600 for balloons. So I'm just going to do it. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. But if you're really going to try to make this a business that works for you, and be able to provide for you and your family, then there are definitely some things that you must do before jumping in and doing that. Because it can definitely be fun, but it can definitely weigh on you as well. It definitely
Mhm.
can discourage you
Absolutely.
if you let it. It can discourage you. But
Mhm.
so yeah. But I
Because
go ahead.
passion only doesn't work. The fact that you love what you do doesn't
Hmm.
work only. If you're not making money from it, then the burnout would definitely
Right.
happen.
Right.
And you see yourself signing out and
Right.
closing shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree. I agree. So because I'm gonna let you go. I promise not. I promise not to keep you here for too long.
No
Um,
worries.
so before we sign off, what last words do you have? Where should we expect to see Marv or the new name? Yeah, just pray tell. Just tell us.
So I am looking. I'm already honing in on some Halloween content. Trying to get started on doing that. I'm not sure if the people who have been following me for some time, but I'm not sure if you guys know Gorgeous Glam Balloons. But she and I are together, and she will be transitioning here to Houston with me here this month. And so her and
Who's that?
I, Gorgeous Glam Balloons, Jackie over at Gorgeous Glam Balloons. I'm not sure if you've
Okay.
seen her on my stories or whatnot, but her and I are together, and she'll
Okay.
be moving. She's up in the tri-state area, and she'll be moving here to Houston, and she'll be pretty much teaming up with me, and we'll be supporting each other in our balloon business here in Houston. But so we work great as a great team, supporting each other with what we're doing in this industry. And so we're looking to go a different way. It's gonna take some time now, but as for me, you can expect some classes to come out here soon. You can expect some new content happening. And then, of course, that name change that I told you about. I'm looking to revamp by MaV, and I'm going a different direction with that. And hopefully, again, to bring some new trendy things to the balloon community. So definitely keep an
Well,
eye out for that.
amazing,
Yeah,
amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Ma, for doing
absolutely.
this.
Thank you.
The last 30 minutes has been, really great getting to know you because the reason why I do this interviews is just for people to like get to know people that are like
Hmm.
doing really well, especially us Black people,
Hmm.
putting our faces out there.
Yes.
The fact that we're not just balloon artists. Some of us have like a great career. Some
Hmm.
have their degrees. So, because I think people just look at balloons and be like, "Oh, they're just doing
I
balloons."
know.
But if you look at,
Right. Hmm.
it's we are like artists, just like
Hmm.
So I just want people to see us the way
Yes.
they should, So and that's why
I appreciate you.
I said this, and I'm so happy you were able to join me today.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
hopefully, maybe when because trust me, I'm tired already. I've done like I think this is like is this the 10th? No, we're in August, so this is like the eighth one.
Oh, really?
And yeah, this is
Okay.
the eighth
Well, I
one.
definitely haven't. Forgive me. I have not been keeping up in that way.
No, it's fine.
But now, I'm gonna go back and hopefully repost these past videos, and I'm able to catch
Yeah.
up with
So
all the other amazing artists that are out there,
mm,
because I know I've kind of
it's
been in my little bubble, but I'm looking to get back out
I,
there and try to reconnect with people. I really am. So I think that this is
mhm.
the turning point for me. So I truly appreciate you just reaching out and allowing me to take the
Thank
space
you. Thank
today.
you so much. Thank you. Because I just thought of it. I was like, oh, I really need, let the world see us
Hmm.
more in a
Hmm.
different light, and
Yes.
just for people to get to know us.
Uh-huh.
It's been tedious trying to like figure out who to speak to, who to like. I'm like,
Hmm.
I can't wait for it because I promised I was going to do this for like a year. So
Uh-huh.
that's like 12 videos. And I'm like, each time I'm thinking of who to bring on next time, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to stop at.
I know,
Well,
right?
it's been so amazing. Like
Uh-huh.
each time I speak to someone, they're always like happy to like
Uh-huh.
do this with me, and I'm so appreciative of that fact. Thank you
Of
so much for
course.
joining me today.
Thank
And
you.
if I get to do like a new season, hopefully I get
Yes.
to bring you back
Yes.
with your new name,
Yes.
and we get to know the new exciting stuff you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so
Of
thank you
course.
so much.
I
All right,
appreciate it.
then.
Have
So
a good
guys, thank you for joining us. We're going to sign out now. Like I always say, I don't want to bore you. I don't want this to go on for too long. I want you guys to watch it from the beginning to the end to get to get to know the artist, to get to know more about them, to like not just watch a bit of it and get off. So yeah, thank you for the people that have joined, and for those that are going to like watch this later, please make sure you like share the video, let people know, and I'm open to suggestions of more people to bring on because I know people would have their favorites they would like to see
Mhm.
on the show. All right
Yes.
then. Thank you, Mom.
Thank
And I'll see you
you.
on Instagram.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Have a great evening.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.